Hello, everybody. I'm Dan, and this is the StreamYard Town Hall. Now, for those of you that have never been to a StreamYard Town Hall, we do these every week at the exact same time, so 6 p.m. on Sundays, 6 p.m. Pacific on Sundays, I should say. And the purpose is really just to talk to you guys, talk to the users of StreamYard, and figure out exactly what you need from us, kind of let you know what we're up to, and just ask a bunch of questions and get some feedback. Now, usually there's two of us, and that might be the case today, and it might not be the case. So right now, it's just me. So I'm one of the co-founders of StreamYard. Gage is the other one. He's actually at Social Media Marketing World. So I know a lot of you out there are also at Social Media Marketing World, and I'm hoping he'll be able to pop on maybe partway through on his phone or something. We'll see. But if not, you've just got me for the day. So I'll try to do my best here. This is the third town hall that I've hosted of the 60 we've done. So it's a good learning experience for me. Now, one thing we always talk about is we call them the 3 pillars of StreamYard. So these are the 3 things that we focus on more than anything else. First one, making sure the product's easy to use. Second one, making sure that you look good. Right? We call it professional looking streams because that's what the product's for. And then the third one is stability. And that's actually what we've been spending a lot of our time on recently, is just making sure that it always works for you and you never have any problems. So that one's extremely important for us. Okay, I'm going to dive into some comments, and then I've got a couple points to hit on and a few questions. All right, a lot of people here tonight. Casey, good to see you. Pete Johns. All right, Chuck Trice, Ross Brand, Dale and Cat Show. Whew. All right, it's good to see you guys. If you have any questions for me, just put them in the chat, and we'll get there eventually. All right, Steve saw a picture of Gage with Tim and Jim. Yes, so Gage showed up yesterday at Social Media Marketing World, and I believe he's there till, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I think it ends Tuesday. So I think he's there till then. So yeah, if you are there, shoot Gage a message, or just shoot StreamYard a message on Facebook, and we'll make sure you can actually meet up with Gage while he's there. Okay. So first thing, I already hit on this. Social Media Marketing World. If you're there, say hi to Gage. If not, well, maybe you can watch the talks online. I know there's a lot of very good talks that are going to be there, so should be interesting. Okay. This was something we talked about last week. We had a few questions about it, and I said I'd look into it. Basically, some people have asked whether on StreamYard in the comments, if we can show like the top chat versus the live chat. As far as I can tell, we have no control over that on our end. So YouTube sends us comments, or we can get the comments from YouTube, but there's no choice as far as live chat or top chat. So that's something we can ask YouTube about. And one thing I was thinking is maybe it's possible sort of on your end, like maybe there's a setting in YouTube that I'm not aware of where you can kind of change sort of a global setting for your whole YouTube channel that would affect what StreamYard gets. But as far as I can tell, there's nothing on our end to do that. Okay, we have 3 things that we're actually already finished them, and they're kind of being released now. They're just little things, but I know things that a lot of you have been asking for. So first one, and these will probably be out middle of the week this week. First one, I know a few people have mentioned, is when you show a ticker right now, it turns your name off, so you can't see the names anymore. That'll be changed, again, sometime in the middle of the week, so that it works as you want it to work, right? Your name's still there when the ticker's out, regardless of what layout you're on. So all layouts, it'll be fine. It'll still be the same thing where, like right here, names here, and if I show a banner, that'll still hide the name, but a ticker, which doesn't take up much room, the name will just kind of shift up. So hopefully that works for you. I know a lot of people have actually asked for that, especially if you got like 4 or 5 people and you're in the layout where they're kind of central and small. It doesn't really make sense for the ticker to turn off the name, so that won't be a problem as of the middle of the week. Next one. similar note, I know a few of you have said that the 120 character limit on the tickers and banners is just not quite long enough. So we're gonna up that to, I think it's 200. So again, middle of the week, that'll come out. Let me just see if there's any comments on this, and then I'll flip back. Looking for a 1080. Definitely something we're looking at. Okay, lots of, there are a couple questions here. $200 is good. Yes. I honestly, I thought 120 would be enough, but I get it. There's the odd case where you need it to be a bit longer. We kind of purposely make it a bit short, almost as like, you know, in the same way that Twitter, originally it was 144 characters. Now it's what, 280, 288, something like that. And constraints are sometimes really nice. So if we limit it, as we did, to 120, it kind of forces you to make it a bit more concise and think about it a bit more, which I think is ultimately a better message for your users, something that's shorter to read and to the point. So we're kind of forcing people to do that a bit. But yeah, I do get that there's some cases where you need a little longer. So 200 should be good, I'm hoping. Yeah, I think, Joe, I think it was you last week that specifically asked for it. So yes, that is coming. All right, Kennedy uses it, recommends it. It's good to hear. We love StreamYard. Well, thank you. No, that's, as somebody who's, like, I do a lot of the development work of StreamYard, so to hear that is, so it's always nice, right? When you have a job where people actually really appreciate what you do and you can kind of see the direct impact on people, is cool. So thanks for saying that. Okay, size of the ticker should be bigger. So I'm thinking that means like height and text. That's actually, I think, the first time I've heard that. So if it's something a lot of people want, we definitely look into it. Okay. Next one. So we have super chat support. We've had that for a while. So basically, just if a super chat message comes in, it looks a little unique, which is useful for you because you can see them and identify them. But it's also useful, I think, just when you show it to your audience, because as somebody, like if I bought a super chat and then I get to see, you know, you put it on screen and it's this big nice color, it kind of really makes me stand out, which is probably in part why I bought the super chat. So we've had that for a while. We'll be adding super stickers again later this week. Sometime it'll come out. And then also when somebody becomes a member, it's called, on YouTube. And this isn't like it's kind of confusing, right? YouTube has membership where you pay YouTube to be a YouTube member, but channels also have members, also called sponsorships, or we're called sponsorships. If somebody becomes a member of your channel, that'll also show up with kind of a unique color, and you can show that on screen. It'll look really cool. So that'll be coming out this week as well. Yes, okay, so audio quality needs update. So I guess first question there is, are you using the disable audio processing? I know there's another change. Like we made one a little while ago, but we have another one ready to go that should help with that. So if you have a nice audio setup, you have headphones, a nice mic, and you have that disable audio processing checked, we are about to improve that by quite a bit. So hopefully that will help. If you're not using that and you have audio issues, I guess, I'd be curious exactly what they are. But hopefully, if you're looking for a really good, high-quality setup, that should help what we're about to do. Yes, Super Chat is only on YouTube, Casey. There are other things, like I believe it's Super Hearts on Periscope. We haven't added those yet. And then Twitch has all kinds of stuff, right? Like Twitch is sort of the kind of the leader in this area. It's just Twitch isn't really our main focus, so we haven't done much on that yet. Whereas YouTube, we have a lot more YouTubers and Facebook people and LinkedIn people. But yes, that one's YouTube only. Interesting. So, oh yeah, echo. So is that when you have the disable audio processing, Dale? Because that is what it does. It turns off echo cancellation. But if you have headphones, you shouldn't get that. So this is a specific question from Calvin about voice breaking up. That's a good question. It could be, I mean, there's a number of things it could be. For specific issues like that, I'd recommend just messaging the StreamYard Facebook page, because it could be any number of things. Also, if you just drop a message in the StreamYard group, a lot of people have run into, you know, different kinds of audio issues. This one specifically, it's really tough to say. So it'll either be your computer, your hardware, like you know, your mic or how it's plugged in, your browser, Chrome, or something on StreamYard. It could be any of those. So that's why I say try messaging the page, or if you're in the StreamYard community, just leave a message there, and a lot of people should be able to help out, kind of troubleshoot it with you. So Pete John, same question about audio, higher audio quality should be coming very soon. Specifically, like we're just not sending enough bits right now. The disable like echo cancellation, that sort of stuff seems to work well, but we do need to up the bit rate a bit, so that's what we're about to change. Okay. Let me see if I got any more here. I actually had a few questions. I'm still wondering if Gage is going to pop on. We'll see. A couple questions for you. First one is, I know on, so say your guest joins on mobile, sometimes, actually pretty much all the time, like if you're in landscape, you'll still get black bars on the edge, and that's just kind of the way Chrome and Safari capture people's cameras by default, but we can zoom in. So I'd be curious if that'd be preferred for you, for anyone who actually cares or even notices this. So your guest comes in, they're in landscape mode, and they're still getting black bars on the sides of their video. Like it's capturing in a 4:3. Would it help if we just zoomed in on them so it looks maybe a little nicer? A lot of you might not care about that, but for anyone out there that does, let me know. And then this is a follow-up on a question we had last week. And that is, some of you, especially kind of the podcasters, want volume control. So this is usually like a guest comes in on mobile and their audio isn't quite as high as everyone else. I'm curious, because a few people have asked for the ability to control that, which we totally get. Do you want the ability to control it, like actually have a slider that perfectly controls it? Or is the best thing just we kind of compare their audio to everyone else's and we just sort of, you know, increase theirs or decrease everyone else's or whatever's needed, most likely increase theirs so that everyone's roughly the same. And we just do that automatically. Like, is there any reason for you to need to manually control it? Or are you just trying to increase it so they sound as loud as everyone else? Let us know. Okay. Pete Johns. Okay, that's good to know. So yes, if it's 4:3, zoom into 16:9. So basically just cut the top and bottom a tiny bit, but it should look better. A few others. Yes, Michael, zoom please. Got it. Andy, zoom in on them. It is. Yeah. Okay, so volume slider. So it sounds like you actually want to be able to actually like full control, or is it enough that we automatically do it? It sounds like, at least Dust Mites, volume slider, so actual full control. Interesting. Yeah, so it's quite a few manual control. Interesting. I figured it would be the other one, just we control it for you, and then like if their audio starts to go up, we would just lower it down, and then you don't really have to think about it. But so I'm curious, like what's the use case besides just making sure that it's as loud as everyone else? Why does the audio cut in and out when playing music or video? So I'm guessing this is for the, is this for an overlay video, Dale? Like why do we mute your mic? And that's just to avoid echo. It's just like we kind of play that video in a different way from everything else, and it's sort of a limitation of Chrome that we're getting around there by muting your mic. If you're talking about just like playing a screen share or something, maybe let me know. Okay, full control over audio. Got it. Okay, interesting. So Dynar, okay, the upload limit. Which upload limit would that be? Is that, I think you were asking about, was it banners, brand images? Please just let me know exactly which ones it was. What issue did we discuss? Green screen issues. I don't know that we ever talked specifically about like trying to debug issues. If you try to find, I'm just thinking when we launched the green screen, it would have been probably 5 episodes ago. And it actually, what should help is if you go to our YouTube channel and you just look at all the videos, usually when we launch a feature, we'll put a little banner in the top left corner of the thumbnail that says new feature. So if you go back and just look, around like 56, 57, we should be releasing it. And then if you do have like a specific issue, you can also just message our Facebook page and we should be able to help with that. Like I think a lot of the green screen issues tend to be related to just not having a powerful enough computer, because it can be a little intense. But usually you can fix it. Like your computer doesn't need to be that powerful. Also reducing your resolution. So if you're capturing, if your camera is set to 720p and you go to 480, that can help a little bit. But it depends on the exact thing you're running into. Yeah, okay, so Dale had to stop using green screen because it would lag your video sharing. Okay, so yeah, that's partially the limitation actually of video sharing, which is just pretty heavy as well. So you're kind of doing like 2 of the heavier things at once. We are working on something though that should make that a lot better, the video sharing specifically, and then it would kind of give more resources back to the green screen, and that should ultimately work. We'll see. So keep you posted on that one. Ken Walls, are any releases coming anytime soon? Yes, they are. So we have 3 fairly big ones coming down the pipe, and I won't say exactly when, but fairly soon. Yes. Okay. This is an interesting one. Is there a better browser than Chrome to run on a Mac? No. Chrome tends to perform better than all the rest, except for a very few specific things. So for the most part, Chrome will do the best. But I know like there's some camera issues that Chrome has had. And I mean, every browser has different issues, but there's some like specific ones that have hit a few people. And in that case, we actually recommend Firefox. But for the most part, Chrome's kind of leading the way on anything video related. And that's on all devices, not just Macs. I guess except for iPhones and like iPads and stuff, just because you can't even use, well, you can't use StreamYard with Chrome on those. It's just like live video is just not supported on Chrome or Firefox or anything for iOS. Just reading some of the audio comments, the audio control. Yes, okay, so Ross tried Opera as a backup for Chrome. Yeah, that's actually a good point. So Chrome, like Google Chrome, is built on something they call Chromium, which is sort of like this open source project that powers Chrome. But Chromium is also used for all kinds of other browsers. So Opera being like the other obvious one that we recommend some people try. So it's like very, very similar to Chrome. It's just not Chrome. And then same thing like Brave is a browser. There's a ton on mobile. Like DuckDuckGo has their own browser. Those are pretty much all based on Chromium. So they all work about as well as Chrome for StreamYard. So yeah, if you ever have a really like specific issue to Chrome, Opera is a good choice because it'll behave basically the same, and then you might get around whatever the specific Chrome issue is, ideally. Dude, Firefox, that's a thing still. Yeah, it's actually, I mean, it's second place, I would say. So, and that's partly because StreamYard doesn't support Safari on Macs, and that's just because it doesn't work very well for video. So we ask people to use Chrome. But yeah, Firefox is the second place. Like it's still around. It's still doing pretty good. They're pretty up to date, just slightly behind Chrome, but way ahead of Safari. Oh, and I guess the other one just for browsers, if you're on Windows, the new Edge, so that's sort of like what replaced Explorer, and it's now also built on Chromium. So that'll work on StreamYard. We haven't enabled it yet. We need to do a bit more testing, but that'll work fairly soon. Okay, can you extend the maximum length of the videos? I would like to insert an opening theme. Yes, that is something we actually made, kind of like the preliminary changes we need to make in order to get this to work this week. And then we're hoping to make that change next week. So we've been doing a lot of, usually you call them kind of infrastructure stuff, sort of just making StreamYard more solid, and then we've got several features that we're going to kind of build on top of that. So yes, one of them is making longer intro videos, and then also having a separate feature for just videos of any length. Working on both those. Keep up the hard work. We definitely will. We definitely will. Late to the show was streaming with StreamYard. You're forgiven. Very cool. Okay, Dinar, I appreciate, Dinar's very persistent. So you've been looking for a custom background and then also upload limits. Still something we're looking into. The upload limits is easier. We'll probably, let me write that down for you because persistence pays off sometimes. So I'll increase those a bit for you. But the background image we haven't done yet. We're still considering if we want to do that, just because I think we mentioned before, like, ease of use is our thing. So we're always trying to avoid just adding a bunch of things that like a couple people need, and then a couple people, like adding another thing a couple people need, and another thing a couple people need, because then it kind of turns into like an OBS type product pretty quick where there's hundreds of things everywhere. That's what we're trying to avoid with anything, not just this. So that's why we haven't added it yet. Something we're considering. Again, if a lot of people are looking for it, definitely open to it, especially if we can do it in such a way, and this is important, where it doesn't really interfere with kind of the, it's not like an extra thing everyone has to think about. It's just sort of off to the side. So it is something we're looking into. And I do appreciate your persistence. So do we have the option to add audio files, like background music? Not right now. Now, it is something we're considering. But yeah, there are copyright issues. So if you were to just play a song or something, YouTube and Facebook specifically will be all over it. The other platforms, not as much, but those two are very on top of that. And yeah, I mean, so we basically have to give you like a big warning, like, hey, do not share copyright music. And that does limit it, right? It makes it a bit harder. We could link to a library or something where like, hey, this is non-copyright music. But yeah, it can be risky. There are options, like people will use virtual audio cables, they're often called, or there's different tools where you can basically like input your mic into this thing. So it's something you download on your computer. Your mic kind of goes into it, and then you can also put like iTunes or something into it, and it sort of just mixes those. And then that's the mic you choose on StreamYard. And then you can sort of combine multiple audio sources and sort of do whatever you want, which is very powerful. But yes, definitely be careful with copyright stuff, because it's not good to get banned or something on YouTube or Facebook. Okay. Okay, Ken. So I gotta address this one real quick. So Ken said he had 6 people on. Somebody, they were doing fine. They left, came back. They couldn't hear, but they could hear everyone else. So my first guess is, were they on an iPhone or an iPad? That is definitely something we're looking into. If not, let me know. But if it was an iPhone or iPad, that's something we're looking into right now. That's kind of a Safari issue, and we're working with the Safari team to fix it. And we're hoping to have it fixed fairly soon. And if they can't specifically fix it right away, we're also kind of looking into like doing our own things to get around it. Because yeah, I agree, it's not great. We have seen it happen a few times. It's pretty rare, or it's very rare, but yeah, not great. And if it's not on iOS, definitely let me know, because then it could be a separate thing. But if so, yeah, we're aware of that issue and we're looking into it. And if like if they go on their computer or even an Android device, should never happen. I don't think. Never heard of it happening. Okay, mixer board integration. That's interesting. So that's kind of similar to what I was just talking about with sort of having your own virtual audio setup. I don't know if we'll like integrate with something like that or what that would look like, but you can set up programs on your computer where you sort of do mixing of audio, and then you just choose that as your mic on StreamYard. Yeah. So Ken, it sounds like the iPhone issue you're seeing. Yes, we are aware of that, and yes, we are working on it. Okay. Any final questions for me? So I got a couple more minutes. Still haven't seen Gage. I was hoping he'd make a last minute appearance. You never know, I suppose. I think he's at a networking event right now. So Roasters is looking for some analytics reporting. I've been broadcasting on other pages that I do not own. Is there a way for StreamYard to track all the channels in one place? Yes. So that's something we're kind of playing around with right now to sort of figure out what is the nicest way to do that. It's not going to happen tomorrow or anything, but it's certainly something we're aware of and are considering. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back through these after and see what all the answers were to the volume control thing. I am interested in that. Okay, recording and downloading audio in separate tracks would be great. Yeah, so I'm guessing by separate tracks you're talking, say if Gage and I were chatting with each other right now, 2 separate audio tracks, which some people want for like very high quality podcasting. Yeah, it's something we considered actually adding like when we originally added recording, but there is some extra work and there hasn't been a ton of demand for it yet. But yeah, we get that. Understand that one. And I'd be curious what the main reason you want it for. Is it what I just said? Is it the podcasting? Like you just want to do some editing on the podcast? Or is it some other thing that I'm maybe not aware of that could be another cool use case? Okay, space to add YouTube tags when scheduling a stream. Interesting, yeah. Yeah, I was actually surprised. So when we originally released YouTube, like we obviously didn't have tags, we still don't. And I was just kind of curious, like, okay, let's release sort of what the bare minimum, like the title, description, and you can schedule it with an image. And in the privacy, of course. And then let's see like how many people ask for tags. And so far it hasn't been that many, but yeah, I get that. It is kind of annoying to have to go over to YouTube afterwards. And I'd be interested how many are interested in that one. Gage is smoozing it up and Dan's doing the hard work. I really like doing these town halls, so I wouldn't even consider this the hard work. Or maybe you meant just staying here and coding still. Either way, I love doing that as well. I hope Gage is having fun down there though. It sounds like it'd be a cool event. And I did go to the last one. We went to F8 last year, the Facebook conference. We both went to that one, but Gage is solo in this one. Treasure hustlers, yes, that's what we were thinking. So I'm guessing that's for the tags. Okay, that backs up. That's 2 people voting for tags, and this is a definite vote for tags. Tags is very important. So I'd be interested. Are you doing tags right now for those of you that are looking for it? Like, are you already scheduling and then going to YouTube and adding the tags, or are you just not worrying about it right now? Andy says yes on everything. Yeah, it's always a fine balance, right, between just adding every single thing and always making sure it's easy to use. That's the story of my life, I suppose. Tags would be handy. I'll call that a half vote. Tags, okay, cool. So yeah, definitely a few. That's I get it. And the other thing we did talk about as well, I think it was last week, maybe the week before, we were talking about targeting. So that's more of a, I guess it's Facebook and LinkedIn thing. So that's something we're considering adding as well. I think Facebook also has tags, so we want to keep that, prevent that from getting too extreme, but maybe we could add like an advanced section or something that sort of shows all that stuff. So first-time users don't need to worry about it, but you guys that are quite advanced can kind of dig into it. So this is an interesting one. I'm going to finish up in just a couple of minutes. Yeah, I'm a little over time. So he's got a question. Plymouth, the ability to restart an ended broadcast. Seems weird to be able to re-enter the broadcast studio without being able to restart broadcast. So yeah, that's interesting. So the reason you can re-enter the broadcast studio is just because, like, say you're talking to a guest, like maybe Gage and I are both on here, and we end the broadcast, and then if I refresh the page or something, it's kind of weird if I can't get back in. Like if Gage and I were having a conversation and now I just can never get back in. So we stick around just so you can kind of keep talking to your guests. That's sort of why it's still open. Restarting, I think, would be kind of weird, like for what I'm doing right now, where I'm multi-streaming to 4 different places on a scheduled broadcast. But the one place I really get it is if you're doing a recording and you want to kind of start and stop. We haven't heard too many requests for that because it's not that hard to go back out and back in. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. I especially get if you're going to something like Twitch, because it's more built like that, where you just kind of stop and start. Or if we had an integration with like the YouTube Stream Now, we use the YouTube events where you kind of set up one event, stream to it, but YouTube has the Stream Now, which is more of a gamer thing. Not just gamers, but more of a gamer thing. And it kind of acts like Twitch. You can just sort of start and stop. We kind of made a decision that's not how we're going to do it, just because that's not how like Facebook, LinkedIn, those things, you go live and then it's done and you need to make a new one. So we've matched that. But yeah, no, it's an interesting thought. So a quick question about Instagram. So I wanted to hit that. Okay, what about Instagram? Can you implement that? Physically, we can implement that. The reason we don't is because Instagram doesn't allow that. So Instagram hasn't released the live streaming part of their app to developers like us. So, you know, like with YouTube or Facebook, we have agreements with them where we're allowed to basically build something that lets you guys stream to it. Instagram doesn't allow that. They want everyone streaming to Instagram to be in the Instagram app on their phone. If they eventually allow it, then we will integrate with it. And hopefully they will. There's talk that they might. But until then, like I have seen some programs will basically kind of hack around that and like ask you to log into your Instagram account and then they'll kind of do it. Like it's possible to do. It's just Instagram does not want you doing that. And that's why we're not doing it. See a lot of people railing on Skype in the comments. Yeah, they were very good when they first came out. I haven't really had too many troubles with it in my life, but yeah, it seems like, you know, they came out in like early 2000s. it was good. It was like the thing that worked, and then they just kind of stopped doing it. It got sold a few times, and it feels like they haven't really done much in a decade. But I've never had too many troubles with Skype. It's not the best, but okay. I think I got to call it. I'm a few minutes over. Gage is much better at ending on time than I am. Okay, all right. I'm going to call it there, guys. That was a fun stream. That was episode, what are we at, 60. So we've been doing this for a little over a year now, and it's been very useful. I hope that you found it useful, all of them useful. I'm almost just waiting for the last minute to see if Gage shows up, but I guess you're going to have to wait for next week to see Gage. Until next time, see you, everyone.